It's a world where your greatest fears come to life, sometimes larger than life, whether it's a force of nature or the consequence of trying to play God. From the depths of the ocean to the limits of deep space, this is the stuff nightmares are made out of. What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in. I am so excited. I am doing my first ever top 10 video for you all. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I just had trouble thinking of a topic that would be fun, recent, and just something that I love. I figured with Godzilla King of the Monsters coming out, this is the best opportunity to do my top 10 favorite movie monsters of all time. So I'm going to tell you what I think are the best, but I'd like to hear from you guys. Tell me in the comments below, what's your favorite movie monster? It could be anything. It could be a human. It could be something demonic, something from sci-fi, a slasher film, whatever you find horrifying. My list, though, will be a little bit more specific. But anyways, let's get this started, kicking it off at number 10 with The Mummy. If there is any monster in the movies that can take the title of King of the Dead, it's The Mummy. Going as far back as 1932, when the original Mummy was released, we were introduced to a world of bringing the dead to life. Once the mummy is awake, the curse begins as it goes after everyone that brought him back to life, and with that he attempts to bring back the love of his life, Anck-su-namun.
Anck-su-namun.
A total of 14 mummy movies have been brought to the screen, whether it be in glorious black and white of the 1930s and 40s, a swashbuckling adventure with Brendan Fraser, or even the disappointing reboot starring Tom Cruise. The Mummy has definitely outdone itself as a monster that proves that life truly comes after death. Coming in at number 9, we're going to take a dip in the ocean with somebody we all may know pretty well. Its name? Jaws. If this shark has a title and royalty, that is the king of the ocean, it will destroy anything in its wake. Though its limits are in the ocean, the movies have clearly made it his territory and will strike fear into all that come into his kingdom. What makes this creature so terrifying is that it's something we can encounter in our own world. Though the movies have made Jaws more than just a shark and into a malevolent presence, it makes sharks even more terrifying. With the first film made by Steven Spielberg in 1975 and its 3 somewhat or not as good sequels, this is a monster that's more than your everyday exhibit at the aquarium. It almost has a mind of its own and knows that it's being hunted and will do whatever it takes to survive. Coming in at number 8, we're going to meet our favorite funny clown, Pennywise, otherwise known as It. Based on one of the classics by Stephen King, it is a story of an ancient cosmic evil which preys upon the children of Derry roughly every 27 years. It uses a variety of powers, which includes the ability to shapeshift and to manipulate and awaken the darkest fears from any of its victims. As of now, we have 2 installments, one in 1990 starring Tim Curry, the other one in 2017 starring Bill Skarsgård, which is probably the more terrifying version, and we will be getting a part 2 of that version later this year. Let's just say you don't want to invite this clown to your kid's next birthday party. Coming in at number 7, a classic by all means, Frankenstein.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Based on Mary Shelley's classic novel, it's the story of a misunderstood monster created from the dead and brought back to life by Dr. Victor Frankenstein. This monster is a lethal and dangerous, yet misunderstood and unknowingly aware of its own strength. Dating as far back as the first Frankenstein film in 1931, this is one of the few times we sympathize with a monster. And through the years, we've seen different interpretations of Frankenstein and countless retellings of the original story. But nonetheless, Frankenstein's monster is one that teaches humans that if they want to play God, horrifying consequences will follow. And speaking of playing God, that brings me to my number 6, the T-Rex from the Jurassic Park franchise. Once again, humanity has learned that if something is extinct, doesn't mean it should be resurrected. Jurassic Park brings the rebirth of all these prehistoric dinosaurs from the use of newly found DNA. I know everyone's familiar with this franchise. As of now, we have 5 Jurassic Park movies. All these dinosaurs have become dangerous and horrifying one way or another, but the most iconic one of them all by far is the T-Rex, the symbol of the park and of the franchise, and the #1 fear that the humans encounter in most of the films. You can run, You can hide, but one way or another, this mega colossal being from the past has no idea what era it's in and will feed upon whatever is in its sight. Coming in at number 5, another classic, Dracula.
Children of the night, what music they make.
Based on the classic by Bram Stoker, this tells the story of Count Dracula. In the novel, his goal is to find new blood into spreading the undead curse while battling with men and women that include Professor Abraham Van Helsing in an attempt to defeat him. This is a creature that uses a great sense of sensuality in his ways to feed off of fresh blood by seductive and convincing manipulation, the very embodiment of Dracula. And Dracula has been seen in many interpretations, from the 1931 original to various installments starring Christopher Lee, Francis Ford Coppola's version, Blade Trinity, and Dracula Untold. The list is endless. This is a universal icon in horror cinema. Even if you've never seen a Dracula film, you know what he's about, you know what he's after, and you know why you should be afraid. Time to meet another king. Coming in at number 4 is King Kong. Another major icon in Hollywood, probably along the lines of many Hollywood stars of its heyday. This enormous, colossal ape is in many ways just as misunderstood as Frankenstein was. Though he is aware of his mega strength, he will defend himself at all costs. We do see a somewhat softer side of him, going as far back as the 1933 original, the 1976 remake, and the 2005 remake. We also now have a reboot in the MonsterVerse, Kong Skull Island. For the most part, we see Kong as someone that is in need of a companion, and it is apparent in the first 3 films. But whatever he's doing, this king will do whatever it takes to claim his throne. So if Kong is the king of the jungle, this guy coming up next is the king of the monsters. You know who I'm talking about. Coming in at number 3, Godzilla. Since his debut in 1954 with a total of 35 movies to its name, Godzilla has shown us what it means to reign above the rest. Godzilla may not be misunderstood, but at times he gives us humans a helping hand, as it has been apparent with some of the recent films. A spectacle when it comes to kaiju action, Godzilla has fought off various monsters such as King Kong, Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, to name a few. And with the recent release of King of the Monsters, we don't see this monster nor this franchise slowing down anytime soon. And now for my top 2, coming in at number 2 is The Thing. Now The Thing has only been in 3 movies, but still made a lasting impression on audiences. Based originally on the novel Who Goes There by John W. Campbell, the origin of this creature hails from outer space and crash lands to Earth, where humans discover it. What makes The Thing truly horrifying and why it's my number 2 is that it is the embodiment of anyone with the power to assume shape, memories, and personality of any living creature or person. It can devour them while maintaining the original body mass for future reproduction. The Thing can be a family member, your best friend, or maybe even your dog, but this alien can spread like the plague if it isn't stopped. And then, as we've seen in these 3 movies, there really hasn't been a happy ending because the situation never has an absolution for that light at the end of the tunnel. And now for my number 1 favorite movie monster of all time. We've been looking at it the entire time. Number 1, the Xenomorph from the Alien franchise. The alien is just like The Thing. It's something that could potentially not be stopped. And yes, we've seen many times Ripley succeed in destroying the alien more than once.
Get away from her, you bitch!
From the very moment of initially impregnating its victims, this thing is a parasite that will feed off of any living thing in order to stay alive. With its nightmarish looks and tactics that include primal predatorial skills and acid for blood, this monster has no other goals other than to protect the preservation of their species, even if it comes down to elimination of other life forms that could pose a threat. Since the 1979 original Alien, we've seen a total of 8 installments so far, and it seems that the Xenomorph is far from its rampage. There's no reasoning with it, there's no hiding. It will find you, and it will kill you, because in space, no one can hear you scream. And that was my top 10. I enjoyed making this video so much. I want to do more of these, so tell me in the comments below, other than telling me what your favorite movie monster is, tell me what are the top 10s you'd like me to do in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Give it a like if you liked it. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe already to hear more top 10s from me, reviews in movies and TV shows. I love to hear your thoughts, so please tell me your opinions. Y'all have a great day, guys. This is Ryan the Movie Guy saying, I'll see you at the movies.